We're entering one of the most dangerous phases of the implosions of one of the largest alleged Ponzi scheme in America. This isn't another collapsed crypto project or failed investment club. What's happening now has the potential to ripple far beyond Goliath Ventures itself. Welcome to my live broadcast. I'm Danny De Heck, independent journalist based in New Zealand. I believe there's a real possibility this could trigger instability in regional US banks, and I'm certain it will lead to hundreds of millions in losses for investors across Canada, America, and the UAE. Christopher, a desperate man. I can't even pronounce his last name. It's that desperate. I'll give it a go though. Delgado. After being exposed for what appears to be a $500 million Ponzi scheme operation, he's now doing anything he can to avoid the consequences. He's scrambling to pull new money in, trying to keep the illusion alive long enough to convince victims he's a generous, successful businessman. Remember, he used to work for In-N-Out Burger. All the while using money that never belonged to him in the first place. Think about that. He's not using his money. He's using your money to show off. His goal was simple: delay, distract, and survive. Pull off the ultimate Ponzi scheme. If you're in Canada or know someone who's tied to the scheme through Jason Newton, Mary, Mike, Marius, James, Han, Oscar, or any other recruiter pushing this opportunity, now is your time to listen carefully. Canadian investors stand to lose far more than investors in America, and the window to act is closing fast. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share. It may be the difference between losing everything and finally understanding what actually is going on. I have prepared a blog. I have shared it extensively overnight, and I've left it marinating on the search engines. I was overwhelmed with comments and feedback from people through my LinkedIn account and also in my email inbox. So thank you to all the people who trust me with intel and information. My scary thought is Canada going to be safe from Christopher? Is he going to be able to start this up in Canada before Canadian people actually catch up with what's actually happening? And that's my fear. I've done a good job exposing him in Florida and Orlando, where he's from, and now it's time to make sure that Canadian people are safe from these predators. If you like my Christmas suit, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm not doing this for clickbaits or anything like that. I've actually put everything on the line. I have had death threats. I've had offers of $150,000 to remove my videos and stop going after this company. There's things I can't tell you, which I'd love to tell you because I have a good community who really know me and understand me, and they know my why. I don't want people sitting there realizing that they've lost everything they've worked for. I don't want tradespeople like firemen, builders, plumbers, painters, realizing that they shouldn't have mortgaged their house to the hills to invest with this scumbag. And I will bet my life on it that I have got my information right, and I'm here to expose this guy. The information that this is blog number 21. 21 blogs that I have put out there with facts that can't be denied. And this is blog number 21. So welcome along. Let's get into it. I will make this readable. I am dyslexic, so I don't use words. This is a network of thieves. And these are people that smooze into communities. These are people that go after charities to build their status. These are people that go into places like the Indian Chamber of Commerce, for example, and smooze their way in there. Donate so they get to be on their website to promote their Ponzi scheme. These are people who are using their knowledge on how to market to get you to invest in nothing more than a Ponzi scheme. So I want to read what we've come up with in the blog. If you are looking for the blog, you can find it in the description of the video that you're watching. And also I will repost this video as a new video because I'm recording live because I like full transparency. Exposed, a massive scam that has stolen more than 500 million from investors across Florida, Canada, and the UAE. The company I exposed sued me, even tried to bribe me with 6 figures after sending me death threats. But on the 3rd of December 2025, the criminal behind the scam sent out a surprising message to his victims. Yes, if you have invested with Goliath, you are a victim and you need to listen up. And we need to tell you how to get your money back. We've done numerous videos telling you what you need to do. Some people are still in denial. Wake up. Let's rewind first. On 14th of November, investors in Goliath Ventures who may have mortgaged their homes and sunk their life savings into the scam failed to get their payments. They didn't fail to get their principal back. They failed to get a drip feed of their own initial investment money back to keep the illusion alive. They failed to get the payments that were due to them, but people who threatened to go to the FBI got some of their money back. Now we're getting mixed reports. Some people are saying business is good. We've been receiving payments. Other people saying that everything's frozen because of the fake audit. Then on the 3rd of September, Delgado sent a bizarre email telling investors they will soon get their money. Even I've seen this sort of thing before because I've busted many large-scale Ponzi schemes. And this is not something a lot of Ponzi schemes try. They try to buy a few more days because they are like gamblers, hoping that one more roll of the dice and they will be able to win their money back. They're hoping they can double down on investors and keep the illusion alive. Now I'm getting tired of reading and my pidgin English isn't too good, so I'm going to use my computer. Hopefully this works well. Now when we get these emails, we look at them. We have been privy to their full email correspondence to all their investors. Every single one of these letters is different. They come out in a different font, different spacing, different logos, different graphics, and it's like Christopher is a puppet. It is like somebody is preparing his correspondence for him. Some of the email correspondence that we received, we haven't even told you guys about because it's so pathetically fake looking that we just don't believe the authenticity of it. However, this email was sent out to a lot of investors because we received quite a few in our inbox. Thank you very much to all those people that trusted us with that information. If you really want to help the Avengers and myself, we want your contracts. If you go to my website at the top here, you've got utilities and there's a link down here called retract PDF. And you can literally, I'm going to show you, put that into, you click on that button and you can, well, let's use this image. So you can put any image you like or any document you like in here. And this is probably a bad example of a good example. Oh, there you go. And you can literally just black out the bits that you want, right? And then if you don't want us to see names, we want to see bank accounts. We want to see crypto addresses that money was sent to. And then you click download. And before you know it, the file is in your inbox and you can download it. So that's what we're asking people to do. Oh my God, that's cool. All right, let's go back. All right, so when investors open the latest email, Christopher, yep, so I don't know if I did read that. I think I did. I'm going to do this anyway because I want to get my brain in the right order. It is actually quite hard to keep up with the information and also deliver it in a way that I want. So excuse me if I double up. Now, there's so many things I would be wanting to receive in a one-page newsletter if I was an investor. For example, the crash of crypto. Why is the crash of crypto not affected a company that's 100% crypto-based? Did you understand what I said? Liquidity pools, Bitcoin technologies, and also crypto mining. Why is it that nobody has ever seen any proof of such activities? There's no crypto mining farms. You've invested in a crypto company that doesn't seem to be affected by the crash of crypto. A few weeks ago, $380 billion, the biggest loss ever in crypto history, didn't even affect Christopher. In fact, this is the, so let's just have a look at these. Why key benefits, the key benefits about this update. Payouts will not happen on the 15th of December. He cannot afford to do payouts. Now, we've been getting conflicting information because we know people are trying to mislead us. Why do we know that's true? Because Ponzi schemes that are failing never deliver on their promises. Never. Why did they stall payments in the first place? Probably because they've found a big investor in Canada who's keeping the ball rolling until next month. Why the 15th? Wasn't payouts meant to be on the 12th or the 14th? Because they've got a dinner on the 12th, haven't they? Meant to be blowing $5 million on it. We'll get to that. But think about it. Isn't that date alarming? I heard yesterday from some people that they've received their payments. And then other people say they haven't received payments for 2 months. So what's going on? Why is there conflicting stories? Is it because if you go to the FBI and threaten them, they freak out, they give you the money? Or is it because the upline that you're associated to has been ordered to pay their dividends out to you to keep the farm happy? Calm the farm. Now, I've been talking to a lot of reporters, as you can imagine, in my profession, and, they ask me what I am trying to accomplish and what I do. I'm currently investing in over 200 Ponzi schemes and scams. I've been doing this for 5 years. They all have the same memo. There has never been one that is unique. They're all the same. The product's not important. They never talk about the product. They talk about how much money you're going to make if you give them your money. Christopher's not using his money, is he? We actually closed down one of his bank accounts, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. And excuse me if I double up. We had an investor who put $250,000 in a day before they realised I existed. We've managed to freeze that money. We've managed to text and email Chris's girlfriend and tell him we closed that bank account. That was the second bank account that we've closed. We want to stop. You need to say today, this enough is enough. Don't sit here and go to a dinner and have a good old time with Christopher celebrating while your money's getting used for Lamborghinis, Ferraris, houses. He's on his 5th house in Florida. He's got 2 houses in Dubai, a black Ferrari, spent $1 million on the girlfriend in 12 months, blowing 6 figures on bar taps, walking out of bars in Dubai and not paying the bar tap. This guy is reckless with your money. Where does his money come from? Wake up. You need to go and act today. You need to request your money out. Forget about hoping to have your hand out for your own money being dripped back to you. Go and get your principal back. People said to me, there's a comment, I think, on the bottom of this very blog I'm looking at from somebody who goes, I think it's genuine. And I'm going, on what grounds do you think it's genuine? Because you got drip feed some of your own money back? Come on, guys, wake up. You guys are much smarter than me. I'm a qualified painter and a decorator. Check it out on my Wikipedia page. That's what I do. I'm more intelligent than you guys who've got surgical degrees. You studied to be a surgeon for 7 or 8 years, and you just walk away, let them walk away with your money. Hire a lawyer, threaten to go to the FBI, start getting your principal back. Don't take out more than you've put in. So there's 6 different government agencies involved in this. People ring me up and go, how's the investigation going? I love that. Don't ring me up and ask me how the investigation is going, because to be honest, it is a funny thing I get asked all the time. What inside scoop have I got about well, everyone's going to get arrested at the dinner, okay? Oh dear. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. We waited on another Ponzi scheme. We waited for about 3 months for the audit. And when the scammer got the audit that was printed out, who the hell prints out an audit, that was this big, he handed it to his sister and then asked her to do a summary to tell the people. And that was their way of giving it was their way of giving the audit to the community who'd lost $1.9 billion. So the same community that Sam Lee was part of, Shavis Anwar, who's now rebranded himself, who's trying to sue me for $300,000 because he had a stroke, even though we've got videos of him chain smoking, decided to make his community wait for months for the audit. And then when we saw the audit, it got handed to his sister and she gave a summary of the audit. And they were meant to be fully transparent as well. Are you going to wait for that? Is that what you want? Are you happy with that, guys? What's your contract says? Now, we want your contracts. Give us your contract. Email Danny at dehek.com. It's on my website. Email it to me. We've got a Signal group where you can correspond with us. Set up a Signal account. You can use a handle. I prefer people to use handles than their real name. Email me or message me somehow in our WhatsApp group. Join our WhatsApp group. And then we will give you access to the Signal group. And you can correspond in us with 100% anonymous. Give us those contracts. We want to see them. Whoa. Wow. Thank you for the donation. That's really, really generous, Velvet. You're always there. Thank you very much. That's really kind. Yeah, you can't trust these guys. Why would you trust them? I mean, if you research Christopher, if you research Nick Petrello, why would you trust these guys? Matthew A. Burks, a parish, scrubbed from the website, scrubbed from his own parish's website as a minister, and now is just down as an elder. No words about him. Every time I email with these people, they scrub them from the website thinking this is all going to go away. The guy was a sermon deliverer, and he was the one, if you waited at the start of this video, you might have seen a 45-second clip where Matt Burke is telling the investors they all need to set up independent companies, make it harder for people like us to track what happens. All set up with Harry J. Samuels. I think it's J. Samuels. And Nadia, the bookkeeper. Oh, she's fantastic. She is. She can run a $500 million company as a bookkeeper. But you didn't know this. She works for Harry Samuels. It's on their website. And Harry Samuels has set up about 500 companies. And he will get a backhander every time he sets up another company, another LLC company. If you've been watching this from the start, there's more information than I can tell you. But let's carry on. What does that mean? We're fully back to our regular rhythm. We wait until you read the letter. But wouldn't you want to calm the farm? If you were the company owner, would you stop flying around in Learjets for a wee while? Would you stop going back and forth to Dubai like it's a morning commute to work? What do you think? What do you think, Christopher is? He's in Mexico at the moment, so we've heard. Apparently, we get mixed reports. He's all over the countryside. What do you think he's going to Dubai for, guys? They've had a Dubai office for quite a long time, but what do you think he's actually going there for? A holiday? What do you think he's setting up his life there? What about his 3 kids? His ex-wife? What about the battle he's having with his divorce? Have you seen that on the Orange County records? Search for Christopher Delgado, and you will find his divorce proceedings on there. It's quite ridiculous what's actually happening behind the scene. And why has he appointed Nadia Bringas signing authority and got the power of attorney? All these questions you want to know. It's because when he's out of the country spending your money and living in Dubai, he can still run this business and not get touched by authorities. I'm reading the same paragraph twice, aren't I? He's fully back, and he's back with his rhythm. Look at who's really running the operation. So this may be a surprise to some people. I don't know if you guys do what I do, but I watch all the cops and robber programs. My favorite is actually Judge Judy. But when anybody has arrested who's done a car chase, for example, they always say, have they got a criminal record? And they've always got a warrant out for the arrest. My point is, a leopard can't change its spots. If you've been fired from an employee for theft, think about that. And that wasn't that long ago. He's only a young fella. These young fellas do more than I have done my whole life before they turn 30. It's incredible. There's some of these big players out there, they've just got so much momentum behind them that authorities can't stop them. And that's the guts of it. And the disheartening thing is when I see announcements that these guys that get locked up are getting released. I did a bit of posting on my LinkedIn profile about these people. Why? Like I'm working with these authorities, and they really have a passion. They are like a dog with a bone at getting these guys shut down. It must be so disheartening when they hit the cells and then they bounce out and get pardoned, things like that. It really actually makes me wonder why I do what I do when there's no real point, especially for the risk that I take going after these bastards. Yeah, there was a big dilemma. And at that party, I had people phoning me, telling me that I was on the big screen. They actually put, at the time, I used to call myself the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, nicknamed that by the New York Times for my quest to name and shame anyone running or promoting Ponzi schemes for a scam. And they had me on the big screen. The guy who said it was actually freaking hilarious. Lady said. Okay, so he was outraged. So he wired $2 million within hours to save face. So there he was. He was about to hold a party in his new house, but hadn't paid the bill. People were not impressed with his behaviour, but he's there to keep face, and that's what we're trying to say to you. If payments are coming through and you think, Danny doesn't know what he's talking about, it's all about keeping face. If you threaten to go to the FBI, you will get paid. We've got proof of that. Yeah, and we've got message from Tay, his girlfriend, telling me that I'm picking on an innocent man and he's just a lovely individual and I'll stick with him. I mean, for God's sake, give me a bone. Let's see if we can read the actual message she sent, which is always quite funny. Here it is. So this first message that we received from her when she was providing us some information. Let's have a listen. It's going to work. Don't think it is. Oops. Oh, we didn't because she kept on entertaining. But here's a lady, which we don't believe is her, actually corresponding with us, telling us that Christopher has helped so many families. I mean, I get this story all the time. You've got a bunch of scammers and they have families, and you've got a bunch of victims and they have families. So over here, everyone's focusing on the scammers' families and how many people have been helped by the scammers. You know, so the thieves are stealing from the victims and they're bringing the money over here. And what they're actually doing is, yes, they're helping families with stolen money, but it's ridiculous. So anyway, we wrote back quite a few messages from her. We've just recently said, I can't read all the messages, but we've actually contacted her mother because she's a therapist, and we've actually told the mother that she may be in danger because her circle of networks, we had a network of people that knew her really, really well, and they were telling her that she was getting mysterious, I don't even know how to say it. I'm not going to say it, but read between the lines if you like, not in good health physically. And these messages that we're getting are not coming from Christopher. Well, not coming from Tay. They seem to be coming from Christopher because it sounds like he's painting the picture. But through his associations, we can see there's a lot more going on than we get to see. So if you do need help and you're a victim, then reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with the people I can put you in touch with to get help. But don't sit there with you sitting on your hands thinking this will all go away, because I'm not going to go away. Now as a result, throwing everything. What have we got? Okay, can I read a few names out here? I do believe he's using those people. Yeah, so I see this time and time again. It always amazes me. So let's say Christopher's a scammer, and let's just say Christopher's a puppet. If you've been following this as much as we have, this scam actually started from my liquidity partners. And it was a scam that's been in SEC fined, I think 50 million, or I can't remember. But I do know that the guy that was working with Christopher was in prison for 2 years. Can't find what prison he's in. Been looking. If you know, let us know. Anyway, 20 days apart from registering the My Liquidity Partners domain name, they registered Goliath Ventures Inc. domain name. And it's a copycat scam. So if you go and research what happened to My Liquidity Partners, we've done previous blogs, you'll find that that scam was exactly the same as Goliath Ventures Inc. Now, the guys that were working here are in Dubai. Christopher, obviously, been spending a bit of time in Dubai. Who's the big guy at the top? That's what you want to ask yourself. Is Christopher just a puppet? Were the last guys just a puppet? Are you, by participating in Goliath Ventures Inc., actually supporting criminal cartel networks? That's where I see it coming from. I've been to the seminars. I went to one called the Global Financial Crime Summit 2024. We learnt about how cartel networks worked. We had 150 delegates from around the world who had the same quest as I did. I got shouted a $2,000 ticket by the person that put the venue on. He wanted me there, and I got to meet some of the biggest scam fighting organizations in the world. Erin West was one of them. She's a DA who now helps with human trafficking compounds. You would be amazed. 95% of the Ponzi schemes and scams that I fight all come out of those human trafficking compounds. You know, this one here, you really think that Christopher, who used to work at In-N-Out Burger, has the capabilities of setting up a company like Goliath Ventures and swindling $500 million from people. Do you really think Christopher's that clever at the age of 34, 32? I've forgotten how old he is, got his birthday there. But what they are good at, networking. The Instagram kids. Look at Christopher's, all Goliath Ventures Inc. Instagram. All the pictures deleted except one. Why is that? Why are they doing stuff like that? Why are they doing shady stuff like that? Why are their Instagrams all glitz and glamour? They're using it to fool people into success. Right, let's get into it. So that's Eric Trump. Jonathan, he's meant to be the chief at Goliath Ventures, and he's at the Patrick Ben David event where Christopher gave another $1 million for naming rights, got on the stage and made an ass of himself. So Delgado quietly rewrites the story about missing payouts. In this new email, Delgado writes, a portion of October's distribution didn't land. A portion. What does that mean? A portion. That means all the people, read it as you like, but this letter is poorly written. The email. This is the email that he wrote to his investors. Everything that's going on at the moment with crypto, everything that's happening. And this is the email that people got a couple of days ago. You have to listen to this to believe it. I'm just going to read it as it is. I'm not going to interrupt. So trust. Do you really trust this? So October catch-ups, November payouts, and everything's moving forward on the normal schedule. If you've been following this, Matt Burke stood up and told everyone that they have 115% of investors' funds on hand at all times. So why would someone hold back your request to take your funds out at any time? Because their banks are frozen? Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to hurt you that way. But what a load of bullshit this is. I mean, just read this. Now we find out that October catch-ups. That means they stopped payments back in October. November froze. And this is all because of an audit, because this is what they said in their previous email. It was all because they were getting audited. Right, so let's read three blind lies. Oh, no way. You can't hear the reader. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's a shame. All right. Well, thank you for telling me that. That would have helped. Let's see if I can get that reader going. I'm just going to have a look. Yes, you're right. Now, okay. Well, that's pain. I'm just going to replay with that. It won't be sound effects. Sound effects. Oh, that's a shame. Let's see if I can pick that up. Reader. Main mic, secondary mic. Let's try this. Add two plugins. Oh, I see. Well, you can't hear the reader. Well, that's a pain. I knew I shouldn't have. I reinstalled my operating system just before I went live. Sound effects, mute. Yeah, testing. I'll just test this 1 second. Oh, well, that's going to be fun. Now, is it just when you're doing this, or is it when we're doing this? Hold on, I'll just have a wee look. No, it's on this browser. Hold it. I'm going to have to do something clever here. 1 second. Reset permissions. Reset permissions. Reload the page. Let's see if we can get that going. No. All right. I'm just going to try something else because I really need my reader. Otherwise, you guys are going to hate me in my reading. Right. So let's have a look at sound. USB sound. Output, input, USB. I'm just going to disconnect. Sorry, I just want to have a play at getting this right, see if I can. I hate when things go along like this. Select sound device. Volume. What have we got? So that's why you don't interrupt. That's why you don't do this. Text replacement. All right, let's just try one more time. Sound. Sound levels, sound effects. Sometimes you just feel like pausing it. I'm glad you guys are good readers then. Is that what I'm hearing? Sound effects. Echo. I'm determined. It's going to have a wee read. USB. Let's see what we got here. Testing. Suppose I've got an echo now, but no. Now, does that work? I'm guessing that's just background noise. Playthrough. Enable playthrough. Ah, now I've got echo. Oh, what a bugger. Never mind. This is the story of my license. Audio system. I'm just trying to find an email. I'm going to go to Google. Maybe that will work if I do that now. Let's have a look. No. Oh, that's a real shame. Well, I'm going to try reading it. You're going to see what it's like to have a reading level of a 9-year-old. So let's go back to the email. Show me how a multitask. Let's get rid of that one there. So it says delays are caused by additional compliance and forensic accounting requirements had to be completed before we could release the funds. What a load of bullshit that is. All required documents have now been submitted. Why didn't they? Who's doing this? Who's doing the audit, guys? If the, don't talk about the elephant in the room, but think about this. Who is doing? I've just come up with an idea. I'm just going to go through here and just fix something here. Preferences. Let's go general switcher account stream. I'm just thinking of doing some recording. Never broadcast destinations. Video. That's the camera. Audio. Or audio. Echo. All time. Automatically mute microphone. Map. Mute sound on speakers. Input mixed. Okay. This is a mixed echoes will not mix sound effects or guess. Okay. Let's see what we've got here now. Testing. I'm just having a wee look here. Oh, no. No. Okay. Right. What doesn't look like interview. Answer get screen sharing. Screenshots. I'm just going through the settings in case you're wondering why I'm doing this. Anyway, you just had to put up with me. As a result, we come back to our normal scheduling starting this month. Normal scheduling. Well, that's funny because I didn't know the normal scheduling was at the 15th or 18th month cycle. I thought it was the 12th and 14th. But anyway, any outstanding October amounts will be paid in the cycle if you elect payouts from both October. If you elect payouts from both October and November, you'll receive both this month. So October and November. Now, I didn't know we had a problem in October, but that's interesting. And now November. So there you go. Now, the thing about this, though, is are they encouraging you to, because if you leave your money on the platform, they're actually offering 3 or 4%. And in Canada, they're offering 8% to people. So I don't know why Canada gets more percentage. But anyway, 8% return per month for your investment in Canada. Now, that's why they're going to get some money from Canada, just saying. So if you elect payouts, okay. So from December onward, all distributions, principal withdrawals, and terminations will resume the regular 15th to 18th, is it cadence, and no further interruptions expected. We used this period to tighten processes and documentation. Well, they didn't even submit the right information to the auditor. Isn't an auditor meant to be able to walk into an office and go through it and help himself to anything that he's asked to? Instead of ringing up Christopher in Dubai and saying, oh, Christopher, can you come back to Florida where the company's been deregistered on the 3rd of September and have a look at our books for us? We need to get into the office. What office have you got, Christopher? You haven't even got a friggin' office for them to do an audit. And all of a sudden, you have to supply more documents. What, are you running a paper office? I know somebody else that was running a paper office. What's that guy called? He ran away with the money. The big Ponzi scheme guy that everyone talks about. I've forgotten his name. So that doesn't happen again. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience. We've now had problems for over 2 months. And you think you're going to get paid on the 15th of September after he allegedly blows $5 million on a dinner. If you have any questions about specific amounts, payouts, elections, or anything else, please reach out to support or reply directly to me. There he is, the man of the moment. So that's just a load of actual bullshit. In this new email, he says a portion of October didn't land. And what this really means is that investors who did not threaten to call the police didn't get their payouts. So if you want your money, threaten to go to the FBI is what we're suggesting that you do. Ask for your principal back. Don't take a penny more, because otherwise you'll have it clawed back and all your bank accounts will be frozen. And investors are not investors who are not in romantic relationships with Delgado, I'm going to get that name right one day, and his inner circle didn't get their payouts either. This new explanation replaces earlier claims quietly without acknowledgement. So he's changing the narrative. He's changing the excuses they used previously. I use ChatGPT all the time. They've even asked the courts to subpoena my ChatGPT records. Can you believe that? Because they think I'm a whiz kid on ChatGPT. They want to learn how I do it. But I put all their newsletters into the mishpot of ChatGPT, and I ask it to scrutinize and cross-reference quotes that they've said previously to modern-day quotes. There's no consistency. There's no liars. If you tell the truth, you don't have a problem. If you're going to sit here and tell your investors lies, you're going to get caught up. And that's what I do. That's how I get these guys. The audit that has mysteriously vanished. This is what I'm talking about. What about the audit, Chris? What about it? What happened? Is this going to be handed as a big thick of ream to your investors and you're going to tell people what the audit said? Or are you going to put this audit online that managed, and you're going to put the audit online that says, we decided, audit that doesn't have the option to do this. The auditor, as their excuse, has frozen everyone's money. That's what they're telling people. Are you going to take that, guys? Okay, your last measures you claimed. This rigorous independent review will, what's that word for Danny? Will culminate in a comprehensive certified report shared with all participants. That's what you said. So when this audit is done, I would like a copy, because I've invested a lot of time in exposing you. 21 blogs, 21 videos, and more videos that I haven't published into my blog series about this. Are you really going to share this with all participants? And is the audit going to state in the audit why they seized, they stopped, seized, it's happening, the payouts? Is it really going to explain why the auditor decided to stop payments in October, November, and claim that they're going to start paying again in December? Or is Christopher and his lads preparing themselves to escape to Dubai? Show us the report, Chris. Do something that you claimed. Who's doing the report? If I was a big company that did $500 million worth of turnover, I'd be quite proud of who was doing my audit. Now, we have heard who's meant to be doing the audit, but we've got no verification of that. In fact, Christopher's telling people who's doing the audit on the phone, but he doesn't put it down in the newsletter. Why would he have double standards? Ignoring frozen bank accounts. Well, we closed down your bank account, Christopher. This was the second Bank of America account that we closed down. This one was a relatively small one, only $100 million worth of transactions. I was going to get that read. Now I have to read it. Perhaps the most important omission is the reality a key bank account in America closed by Goliath, account used by Goliath Ventures has been frozen. Do you know why they froze it, Chris? They read my blog. We had a timestamp with somebody who gave away $250,000 to you, and they used that to track you, find you, and close it down. That's why, if you look at the image of this video, you'll see a bank that's frozen, a vault that's frozen. You state confidentially that the account, I can state confidently that the account transferred over $100 million, and this wasn't even their primary bank account. So how are you going to get paid, guys? What bank is he using now? Yet Delgado still promises payouts will happen on the 15th and 18th. How have you been receiving funds up to now? A wire transfer? Where from? Is it from the Bank of America? Well, come on. How are you going to get paid now? Ring up the Bank of America and ask them if they have any dealings with Goliath Ventures. This contradiction, I might have to read this. This contradiction is impossible to reconcile unless the plan is simply to delay panic, buy time, and hope their Canadian recruiters bring in enough fresh money to cover the distribution. So that's what we are in fear of at the moment. This is why we've got a call out to people in Canada. If you know anyone that's pitching this to you, tell them to F off, because they're going to use your money to pay the American investors. They're even promising 8% return to people who invest in Goliath Ventures. They're going to lever what they believe is a opportunity of a lifetime that worked in America, and here's your opportunity to get involved with it in Canada. I was reading about another Ponzi scheme recently, and this quote jumped out at me. How victims involved in the scam like this peer pressure. Oh boy, I'm going to have to read it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so people who are involved in these scams actually are peer pressured into acting like sheep. Not only are people inclined to check, but anyone who does start checking up starts finding themselves under strong social and psychological pressure to do so. So anyone that doesn't start checking, so as soon as you start sticking your nose in and start asking questions, you will get a lot of psychological pressure not to ask any questions, and that's how they thrive. This isn't new. This is every day. You know, I was in a Zoom meeting just before I went live today, and there was a idiot who is called Andy Galloway, and he's telling people in there that he's been a real estate agent for 20 years. He's telling people that they can buy virtual real estate. And then he's telling them that they can sign up for the monthly membership. And that's how he's making his money. So he's telling people you can buy digital real estate that doesn't exist. He had 7 people in a Zoom meeting, and then the Avengers got hold of him and we had 18 people. So we had 11 people that were Avengers in his Zoom meeting. I turned on all the cameras, to expose this guy. And held up signs and all sorts of really funny things. I just think it would be quite funny to see if I can actually show you that, actually, because it would be, I'll just see if I can find it. Let's see, because this is how stupid it is. But these people, yeah, here it is. I'll just do a screenshot. Oh, but look at this. This is, and this guy has been, he's been running. So this is what we do when we're not here. And this is, so this is a Ponzi scheme. And you can see that I've actually managed to go into this guy. Here he is talking about all the monies that people are going to make if they sign up for his monthly membership. He claims that he's been in the game, the real estate game for 20 years. If he is, he's going to lose his license. I go in there with 8 connections and 3 other Avengers. I turn on all the cameras while he's doing the presentation, and I hold up signs, basically telling people that this is a scam. But what gets me, guys, is these guys are quite happy to just lie. So here's Andy, and then before you knew it, I think we had so we had all these signs. So it's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's my point. Don't know why I'm getting off topic here, but anyway. So what about the party? All right, so it's all about the party. The James Bond Casino Royale Christmas party. Not much stock these days. But watching investors, I'm just shocked. I'm so tired I can't get my computer going. Are you really putting everything on the line for a Christmas party? Where we've heard rumors that they claim it's going to be a $5 million Christmas party, the biggest one this year. Well, I don't think the party's going to happen. We've got some interesting things happening, hopefully, with fingers crossed. But if it does, I will admit I'm wrong if it does happen. But I'm certain the company won't pay anyone on the 15th of December as promised. Because if they have delayed payments in October and then November, even in their own newsletter, what the heck is going to happen by blowing $5 million on a Christmas party? What do you think that's going to do? And then a few days afterwards, on the 15th, everyone's going to get paid. And guess where Christopher's booked to go to on the 18th? Dubai. He's on the way to Dubai. The event is scheduled days before the promised payout cycle. How convenient is that? While investors are owed 2 months' payments, while an audit supposedly paused the business functions. Can you imagine McDonald's being shut down because the auditor says, "Excuse me, Mr. McDonald, I'm just going to shut the company's finances down while I do an audit." Auditors don't have authority to do so. So why would you throw an auditor under a bus if there is an auditor? Oh, okay, so you can spend $5 million of your money at a party, but can't pay you back. Even costs money. Events cost money. Events require planning. We've been talking to a few planners there, just saying quietly. This timing raises unavoidable questions. Why celebrate a liquidity crisis? Why allocate resources to an event when payouts are overdue? Are you kidding me? That they're working like beavers to supply auditors the information they need, and at the same time working hard at setting up an event? Is the promised purpose to claim investors? Oh, goodness me, I'll read that. So is this party going to calm investors before postponing payouts again? Who throws a party when October distributors are still missing? Who would do such a thing? Delgado's background running events for Grant Cardone explains a lot. He thinks it's a big thinks a big show will convince people everything is fine. Is that what you're doing it for? But Ponzi schemes don't survive on showmanship. Once confidence is broken, it's over. One investor said it best: if you can host a royal, I never get that word right, casino royal party, you can pay what you owe. That's really the honest truth of it. Opters are deeply, what is it? The optics are deeply consistent with their supposed audit delays. I'm a shocker at reading. No one's going to give me this job again. Goliath Ventures is trying to play on hopes of victims, and this is what they all do. I was brought up in a religious cult. I was told that everybody in the world was going to be destroyed. Only the righteous were going to inherit the earth, and I had to keep my mind focused on that paradise earth. Everyone was going to be destroyed that I met in person. That's what I was brought up with. And we lived with the hope that we were going to live on a paradise earth. And that's what got us knocking on people's doors. 60 hours a month I used to spend knocking on people's doors talking about Jehovah. All because I lived with the hope Now, I've got a mother that I love to bits, and I know she loves me, but out of love, she has nothing to do with me, because she's hoping that her the love that we have will make me come back to the religion. And then I need to adopt her hope. Now, she's saying that she's doing it out of love, but she's doing it out of selfishness, because she wants to be faithful to her God, and her God is going to let her live on a paradise earth. My mum's 80-something years of age. You know, she's gone down that road all her life. So I bow out. She lives a few minutes down the road from where I live, and I can't do anything about it. I can't change her hope, because her hope is so strong that that's the only thing. She said to me in the past, that's the only thing I've got left in my life. And I go, you've got a son who loves you. These victims fuck me off because they get people living on hope. But at some point in your life, you need to wake up. You need to use logical. You need to actually go and get the bits, the hardware, and put it together and see how this works. They shut their company down in Florida on the 3rd of September. Give me one reason why they did that. Give me one reason why they didn't get all your contracts that you signed redone with their new company that they set up in Wyoming. Why did they set it up in Wyoming? Because it's the friggin' scam capital state of America. Every time I see a scam and they say that they're registered in Wyoming, I just know it's a Ponzi scheme. Cayman Islands connections will be the next thing we'll hear. You know, they've set themselves up in Dubai. You know, they give the illusion that something bigger is going on. I mean, nothing's going on. All they're doing is they're stealing money from communities and people who have mortgaged their houses to get involved in this. And then they piss your money away. And you're sitting here getting drip feed other people's money, new investors. And now they've got themselves in Canada. And Canadian people have been offered 8% return. Why don't you take your money out of Goliath in America and go to a Canadian investor and get 8% return for your money then? Wouldn't that be a good idea? What is that not on the table? Can you not take your money out and then find a friend in Canada and go off and see Jonathan and ask him if you can invest and get 8% return? Because that's what they're offering. 8% return in Canada, 3% return in America. It's a no-brainer. And if it's not a Ponzi scheme, what have you got to lose? Can't you see what's happening here? They're offering people big, large amounts of money in return for their investment. So they entice them, fool them into doing it. They're smoozing with communities, just like Christopher Harris in America. Stood up on Fentanyl Day and offered Jackie Segal pledged $2 million in the White House. Paid $250,000 to get his ass into the White House on the first day. Next week, when it was Crypto Day, here's all this proper. That's probably why he's deleted all his content on his on his Instagram. If you go to Goliath Ventures Instagram, they've got one post there at the moment. So maybe the White House knocked on his door and said, you were here for Fentanyl Day and pledged $2 million to a charity. Good man, Chris. But we noticed on your Instagram that you were saying that you were here for Crypto Day. You weren't here for Crypto Day. That's misleading. If you don't fall in line with what I'm saying, Christopher, you will not be pardoned when you're in prison. Do you think that's really going to work, Chris? Anyway, warnings you cannot afford to ignore. If you are an investor of this scam, understand clearly Goliath Ventures behaves like a doomsday cult. And I know all about cults because I was brought up in one. This is exactly the same. The only evidence you're going to have in your little wee head is hope. You're going to hope that this is real. Use the facts. Do awesome research. Find out the history of the people you're handing your money over to. They're all associated with the shady people. I mean, we've got Christopher Tomo on a yacht with Andrew Tate. Do a search on the internet for Andrew Tate. You've got people like Romo, R-O-M-I? Oh, I think it's I. Here he is, arm in arm with the Alexander brothers. Go now, right now as you're looking at me, search on the internet about the Alexander brothers. The Alexander brothers have had 30 women come forth saying they have been drugged, you know what I mean? They have been drugged and raped. 30 women over a 10-year period have come forward and said the Alexander brothers, they have been arrested and they're under bail in their father has put up his house for bail to the courts, and they're under house arrest. There's three Alexander brothers. I'm not sure. I've only seen two of them accused, twins. Anyway, arm in arm, you got Romo, Romi, I think his name is. And here he is. If we look somewhere else in a minute, you will see a photo of him with Christopher. He took a ride to Mykonos with Christopher because it was a spare seat. And then we hear that he's invested $500,000. Even though he's emailed me saying, take my name off the internet, I have nothing to do with Goliath Ventures, then we hear rumors that he's invested $500,000. Then we start researching his company, read his Google reviews. He's got, I think, 2.1 stars on Google reviews. So these guys are associating with a whole bunch of people who are just doing this for a living. This is how people think you make money. This is the young people. Chris is under 35 or whatever he is. And this is how young people think that you make money. I'm entrepreneurial and I make money. I work hard. I don't hand my money over to some other scoundrel and let him play with it to see if he can get me 8% return per month. This is ridiculous. Anyway, warning, you cannot avoid. So it's a doomsday cult. The leader is asking you to believe for just a little while longer while he spends money you saved and slaved for. Stop trusting Goliath Ventures lies. Get in touch with me, contact the FBI or the RCMP. I hate acronyms, don't even know what that word is. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to me for help and you can contact the law enforcement. Here's my WhatsApp. But feel free to set up your own and add other investors. So set up your own communities. Fight back using communities. Fight back, set up your own communities. Go to if I've heard of 16 health professionals all have invested because the first guy walked over the cliff, they all followed him. So set up a community of 16 over, do a class action lawsuit against Chris, demand to get your principal back. You've got a contract. Your contract says you can ask for your money back at any time. Ask for your money back. And if you get your money back, good on you. If you don't get your 3% promise drip fed back to you of your own money, or 4%, well, 8% if you're in Canada, then, so be it. Let's just save your principal. This isn't a quest about how much money you can make because the banks don't give you the interest they promise. This is about getting your principal home and safe. Request for your money back. If they say no because of an audit, it's bullshit. And you're going to lose your money, and I'm going to sit here and say, I told you guys to get your money out of the platform. Right, that was blog number 21. And I'm going to go through briefly each blog that we actually did. Is smart money a scam? I've invested 20. Is smart money a scam? Yes, it is a scam. I've done a blog about it. Go to theheck.com, search for smart money, and you'll find the blog, The Scam. Yes, just because you invested $20,000 isn't a good thing, mate. Get your money out. And if you can't get your money out, why'd you put it in the first place? I think everyone does that. They put a little bit of money in, take a little bit of money out. And then because they can take a little bit in and a little bit out, the scammer goes, oh, let them do it, let them do it, let them do it, let them test the system. And then you put 20 grand in, they lock the doors. It's just scam after scam. Okay, so the first thing I did when I started exposing Goliath Ventures, we had a look at their own contracts. And I've always said their own contract's going to be what they die by their own sword. Their own contracts talks about how the money was insured. And when you look in the contract, the very last line of the contract, once again, I should look at one of the contracts, 14 pages of 27 pages of joy. The very last line said, if you want to know about the insurance policy, email us. I mean, really? That's what they said. So when I saw that, I thought that's ridiculous. They said they're compliant. That was an illusion. Smoke and mirrors. It was just absolutely pathetic that they said that. Then they said that we're running a smear campaign and we were jealous. Jealous. That's a very bookkeeper vanishing act. We found out that she shut her company down on the 2nd of September and reopened it on the 3rd of September in Wyoming. And now we've found out that the bookkeeper, Nadia Bringus, is actually working for Harry, I think it's Samuels, who is a guy that registers companies left, right, and centre, and she's actually a paid employee of his going by their website, which is great. The fake audits, well, they've already had an audit. They told you it was an independent audit done by Black Block, not Black Rock. They just used similar names to fool people into big names. But the independent audit was meant to be done by Matt Burke. Well, we exposed him. He's a parish. He's just good at talking in front of an audience. and they scrubbed him from the church's website after we rung up them or contacted them, asking them what connection have they got with Matt Burke. They scrubbed him from the website. Anyway, that was meant to be independent, and then we find out that now Black Block has merged with Goliath Ventures, and we've got lots of Wealth MD contracts, and it's not Wealth MD as you may search and find on the internet. Be careful, because it's actually a company called mywealthmd.com, and also Black Block is myblackblock.com, and you go there. We've got contracts from both. Wealth Management MD was actually saying the minimum investment was $250,000 and the monthly payout was 2%. That was like they were white labeling their own service. Anyway, this independent audit done by Matt Block was actually now merged into Black Block, is now part of Goliath Ventures. So much for being independent. Wonder who's going to be told they're the auditor this time, because even the auditor, when you ring them up and go, are you currently auditing Goliath Ventures? And they go, who? Goliath who? Missing fencing registration. So we've got people like Pierce Curry. He was also standing beside Matt Block at this video that we originally got that really sort of got us going. And he's not registered. They're not registered. They have no registrations to handle finances. Nowhere in anywhere that we've looked. And no one has ever come to us from Goliath Ventures and said we are able to handle money. And that's what you need, a FinSense registration. So we did a whole blog on that. Now, what happens if you've got more money than you put in and you've got your principal out? Because that's what they train you to do. Get your principal back and then see if you can make some money, because it's like being at the casino. Ironically, that's also the name of their dinner, casino. What a stupid name to have a dinner. You're going to on the 12th of December, if you've got the invite, you're off to the casino, James Bond Casino Royale. So you're gambling and you're going to an event. Anyway, if you have got your money back, good on you. Keep your paperwork, keep your screenshots, keep all the transactions, keep the bank account you put the money into. But if you've made more money than you put in and you think you're smart, then you really need to read that blog about clawbacks and what's going to happen, because they will walk into your business. So I've got one investor who put $500,000. He pulled $500,000 out. He said, I've got my principal back. And he said, and I got a little bit extra. And I said, well, why did you take? I don't want the money, he said. I don't want the money. I'll give it to you. And I go, I don't want your dirty money. But what do you think is going to happen? They're going to knock on your door. The FBI is going to knock on your door, or the IRS, and they're going to say, hi, Danny, I hear that you've invested $500,000 into Goliath Ventures. And you go, yes. And what happened? Well, I got my money back and I made $15,000 out of it, because I didn't believe it, and I got it out within a month. Oh, and you'll go, here's your $15,000 back to the IRS. They're going to go, no. We need to audit your whole business, sir. We're going to close you down. So don't take out more money than you put in. It's going to be a lot cleaner for the feds, for the use of a better word, to see a clean transaction. You put 500 in, you took 500 out, you put your left leg in, and you shake it all about. Anyway, let's not get carried away. So anyway, unregistered securities problem, because they're not registered. Are the contracts that you've signed worth anything? What's the legal requirements that you should be thinking about? I can't remember that blog, but it would have been a goodie at the time. What a real fund looks like. Now, just imagine that Christopher isn't running a Ponzi scheme. What would a real company that can turn over and make 3 or 4% return on your investment per month actually look like? Would they have a bookkeeper running all the transactions? Would they have officers? Would they have licenses? Would they have a board of directors that aren't firemen and tradies, or people that have no experience of financial background? You would expect to see a room full of suit and tie people, where you can go to their LinkedIn profile and read more about their qualifications in the financial sector than you would seeing firemen like Steve Davis releasing books on Amazon, a #1 seller that's been downloaded 7 times. And you read the reviews out of the 7 reviews that he's got. 2 of them are 1-star reviews, and they weren't anything to do with me. It's just crazy. So anyway, that's the type of people that are running this company. So what we did is we compared a real company versus Goliath Ventures. And if you can't read that and see that, you need to go to a financial advisor, sit there and show them the contract that you signed. Even if you've gone out there and you had a weak moment because your friend next door said to you, hey, I've invested in this and I'm getting money every month. And you go, oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. And what did you do? I just gave him my money. And how much have you made? Oh, I made $100,000. How much have you put in? Well, I actually put in $500,000. I originally put $20,000 and they told me I had to bump it up to $100,000. Now I've put in $500,000, but I get X amount of dollars out each month. And then his mate goes, oh, I'm going to do the same. Is that what you did? Well, if you've done that, go get your contract, go to a lawyer, go to a financial advisor and say, can you just have a look at the contract that I've signed? And would you recommend I sign this or take my money out? Take your money out. Wake up. Okay, so people that receive gifts, people that might have been receiving Christopher's $100,000 bar tab licenses and all that sort of carry on, are you safe? That was number 10. FBI Director Kash Patel, Ron, I can't even say his name. Was it DeSantis? Andrew Tate. And here we looked at all the connections of those people because they've been throwing themselves and doing a whole lot of selfies with all these people. Then I got sued. Yeah, that's right. I just got sued for telling the truth. So now they're trying to do a lawsuit against me and lodged a lawsuit in Florida. And I got told the other day that I'm allowed to call Oliver Berman, whatever your name is. I want you to know that you need to call me Mr. DeHeck. In the courtroom, I'm not going to be sitting here in the courtroom going, g'day, Oliver. Oh, hi, Danny. I want you to call me Mr. DeHeck because I'm not going to call you Oliver. In fact, I've got a few other words I'm going to call you. So, Oliver, I'm not going to call you Oliver. It's Mr. DeHeck to you. Don't ever call me by my first name because you're a scumbag. That's good. And we'll have some more content coming out about their lawyers soon because some of the dirty tactics these lawyers are doing. And if you want to have a bit of fun, go to Orange County and search for my name and have a look at the filings that these lawyers are doing. It's ridiculous. That is desperation, intimidation tactics. It's absolutely incredible. It's what you call when the Titanic was like fully immersed in the water and it was starting to lean and it was creaking. And then the lawyer said, I can save you. Just keep giving me money. That's what they're doing. Dirty tactics, Goliath Ventures. They were basically getting my video. So I did a video like this and they would go and do a copyright strike against my video. And that means the video goes offline for 15 days until I say I will defend my right of journalism in federal court, and YouTube released the video. And then I had to wait 15 days. But we had 8 copyright strikes within 6 weeks. 3 copyright strikes and your YouTube channel goes off. Obviously, I've got some people that are looking after me. Thank you very much. But they use tactics like this. And how do I know it was them? Well, when you do a copyright strike, it comes up with the name of the YouTube channel that did the copyright strike. Now, I have previously done a blog about how YouTube actually goes after and they will prosecute people that abuse their copyright strike service. So I'm hoping that one day when I get rich and famous, YouTube actually goes after these people that did these fake copyright strikes because it's against the law because you've agreed to a contract. But YouTube have done it in the past where people abuse their copyright strike feature. Maybe that's why I haven't had anyone for a while. And then number 14 was crypto crashed and Christopher didn't even blink an eyelid. So then we filed a 22-page motion to dismiss, which is still happening at the moment. We haven't heard anything back from that. We have had been bribed $150,000. We put all the letters. You can actually go into that blog and you can actually read how we were bribed by $150,000 from Goliath Ventures to remove on my blog, write a dear, I was paid by a big investor and he was bankrolling me and I'm very sorry about everything I said about Goliath Ventures because I didn't really mean it. I was forced to do it and I wanted to get $150,000. I basically delete all my blogs and all my videos. Go get stuffed, guys. What an insult. I'm worth more than $150,000. And there's been other offers as well, but I wouldn't entertain them. But we did start off with 150. I'm sure it's a lot more now. Well, maybe it's less because it's like, no deal. This is a program that we have in New Zealand and Australia. Don't know if you have it overseas. You didn't escape the scam. You benefited from it. So whistleblowers. So there's a real funny story. One guy, I think I've actually mentioned him, real estate guy, invested with his father's money, $500,000. He was ringing up to make sure that he wouldn't get caught. We asked him for the contract, and all of a sudden, we got crickets. He didn't want to give us a copy of the contract, so we started researching the person and what they were doing. And it seemed like the money that they used to invest in Goliath wasn't actually their money to invest. Hence why they didn't want to give us the contract, even though we said redact all the information out of it. And that was a bit of a shame, really. Then they turned around and started calling me the scammer, because even though we did get their $500,000 out of the system for them, or help them, or make them wake up. So we've had a lot of people telling us they want to get the money, that they need help getting their money out. We give them the advice that they need to do, and people are getting their money out. So that's really, really cool. So reach out to us, go into our WhatsApp group, which you'll see on this blog. So if you go into the description of the video you're watching right now, you'll see a blog to the WhatsApp group. When you get into the WhatsApp group, you'll find a link to Signal. When you set up Signal, just use an alias name. I don't want to know who you are. It's easier. Make up something cool. Give me a name. Like I've got some names in here at the moment. We've got the Terminator. He's one of our crew. We've got Endgame. We've got lots of real cool people, actually. I could tell you some names, but I can't. I like this one. HLS. I wonder what that one stands for. I've even got Nick. I'll go hello, Nick. So Nick Petrello's in Signal. I'll give him the link to the video we're watching right now, shall we? Here we go. Here you go, Nick. If you're watching Nick, you just received a message in your and if you want any of their phone numbers, if you want Nick's phone number, let me know. I've got all their details. We've got everything. We've got everything we need. All right, Director of Administration at Goliath Ventures, Steve Davis. Oh, now people told me this is the most favorite photo is me standing here with Pixel, but this photo here is this is me representing Steve Davis. Steve Davis is meant to be a lovely man who used his loveliness to convince firefighters to put their life savings, their retirement funds into Goliath Ventures. And people are reaching out to us, telling us, so he did this beautiful article, a published article about himself. Oh my God, look at this. It's been removed. Look at that. So the Insider magazine has temporarily unavailable. That's because we wrote to them in disgust that they were published bullshit. And there you go. Look at that. So let's just have a wee look here, because I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but let's just go to their website. Their website's working. Right, so now we're going to go back and we're going to go to the sponsored article, and let's see if it's still the same. Sorry, temporarily unavailable. Well, that is a victory to me and my Avengers. We work hard at getting crap off the internet. So Steve Davis, if you go in here and you watch, you will see, let's go in here, let's do it. Do this. So let's see if we've got the article. Let's see when we've got him in there. There's Christopher. There it is, there. So if we have a look here, you can see this is the article of Steve Davis in the Business Insider magazine. What a crack up. So that is just so cool. Orlando, Florida, United States, November the 14th, 2012. Steve Davis spent more than 2 decades in the fire and emergency services, rising through the ranks to become division chief. And then he's used his power as a trusted person in the community to scam people. And isn't that a crack up? So that is so cool. Alrighty, so what have we got now? We've got director. All right, so then we've got Goliath Ventures. This is 2 blogs back. Is now collapsed. And we believe they have collapsed. We've shut down another bank account of theirs. To my horror, when we found the second bank account, and it was still with the Bank of America, but we have shut down that bank account. Now, you know, as an investor, that you put the money in via wire transfer. You know that you put the money in through the Bank of America. You should be ringing the Bank of America, telling them that you have been scammed by Goliath Ventures, Inc. And you have requested your money back, and they have said they can't give it back because they're doing an audit. You listen to what the bank manager says to you when you ask him that claim. That is so bullshit. And if you can't smell the shit that Christopher's spewing out of his little wee stupid mouth, then you really need to get some help. You need to go to a financial advisor, a lawyer, or the FBI and say, I have been a victim of a scam. and you need to report it. And if you want to be clever about it, go to Christopher first and say, I am friggin' angry. I want my money back. And he will probably, because he has done, I know he has done this, give you your money back to shut you up. He's offered me $150,000 to shut up. I make no money out of this. $360 I got last month from doing my YouTube channel. $360 I got from my YouTube channel. Donations, I just got somebody donated, I don't know, ZAR. What's 35 ZAR? Don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying I've made, in donations this month, $400. So for $750 a month, this is what I do. And they come along and offered a YouTuber $150,000 to shut up and delete his videos. If you've invested $100,000 and if you've mortgaged your house to get the money, don't live with the debt for the next 20 years of your life thinking I should have listened to Danny DeHeck. What have I got? What am I doing this for? I woke up one morning and thought, oh, I might just take on $500 million company today. I get intel. I go through it. It disgusts me. It infuriates me, as you can see. And then I try to tell you guys, and I get feedback from people who are making money from you. Every time you invest, they're offering, listen to it, 8%. They're offering people who invest in Canada. Why are they offering such high returns? That's nearly 10% of your money is going to get drip feed back to you for the next 10 months. Put $100,000 in. They scoop some out to the person that referred you to it and give it to them. Thanks for the referral. Is it 10%? 20%? I don't know. And then they give you 8% of your own money back to you. That means you've got probably 8 months before the whole lot falls over, unless you go, oh, this is amazing. And you tell a friend. And then you tell a friend. And that's how Ponzi schemes continue. But what about the products? Are you not excited about getting involved in crypto, even though it's massive crashes? It just goes crazy. Anyway, next thing is we see, I did a blog about Andrew Tate and how he lost a whole lot of money. And Andrew Tate's actually meant to be one of the worst crypto traders. But when we showed that video, we showed you Christopher and Tomo and another guy, which I can't remember, which I think I've got a photo of him in here. Here we are all on the boat. At the time, when I created that image, I didn't know about it. But we've got Michael, I can't say his name, Krasinski. So 3 of them are on this boat with Andrew Tate. Now, in this video here, we show you how Andrew Tate does, I did add a paragraph in here because I was told, leverage trading. So he did leverage trading, and basically leverage trading when crypto, you're banking against crypto going down or up. I don't know, whatever he does. But when you lost all your money, you lost all your money. So there was an example that was going around the internet showing you how Andrew Tate just lost a shit ton of money. And my argument on this blog is, what if Christopher's been using the same techniques as Andrew Tate? He's on the boat with him. He's part of his boys club. And all of a sudden, Andrew Tate loses a ton of money doing, I've forgotten what I called it now, doing, what do they call it? They even know what they call it. Leverage trading. I don't know about crypto much. And then he loses all his money. Just imagine that Christopher's doing the same. And then just imagine that at the same time that Andrew Tate lost all the money, Christopher lost all the money. And just imagine that's why you haven't received your monies. So that we put that all on a blog, go have a read about that. And that could be why Christopher's sweating like a rapist at the moment, trying to figure out how to make dividend payments. He should be telling everyone you can have all your money back. Oh, I've made so much money from you guys. I just want to give you all your money back. Get your principal back home and you'll be fine. No way. And obviously the last one here is Goliath Ventures December breakdown is the blog that we're doing here at the moment. How do I do my investigations? Well, I use open source intelligence. We don't hack into computers. We don't get things unlawfully. We rely on publicly available records, archive web pages, corporate filings, domain name data, social media activity, and open block transactions. So we need your information, guys. If you want us to help you, reach out to us and go join our WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group back up here, nice green. You'll see that logo. That is us. Go join the WhatsApp group and then reach out to me on Signals where I do most of my communication. That's what we're all about. Just recently, I managed to get myself into Wikipedia, which is absolutely fantastic. I did a blog about that the other day. It's quite funny. We've got people trying to bring down my Wikipedia page, which is quite a hard case. But at the moment, it looks like we've got some good people keeping up to date with what's happening, which is really fantastic. I did do a whole blog about that, and I think it's worth mentioning because, like, it's a hard toll doing what I do, and I'm not looking here, but if you look inside Wikipedia, Wikipedia to me was a big moment. I mean, I've been in the New York Times, I've been in the Guardian, I've had a documentary done about me with Bloomberg. Thank you very much. But being in Wikipedia, it actually is kind of like recording my history. It's like, this is my life. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth. But what I did find in there is I've actually done a lot of work with the Pakistani people, helping them because they're getting abused by their employees in Pakistan. And also they've been doing fentanyl trafficking. And I've currently got 3 court cases pending in Pakistan where they're trying to say if I don't represent myself, they will win by default, and then they'll get my content removed. And that's what these guys do. They don't want anyone publicizing them. But anyway, I've got representation there. We've managed to move those 3 court cases into one. Goliath Ventures, Ponzi scheme, that's in Wikipedia. And also Hyperverse, which is what Bloomberg did. I believe it was a $4 billion scam, but everyone says it's a $2 billion, $1.9 billion scam. But when I look back, this isn't my first rodeo, Goliath Ventures. We've got some big stuff going down, and it's tiring. So I really do appreciate the support. If you can donate in any which way or form, I really need it. I love what I do. It's a big risk. I do things that people can't do who are in an air-conditioned office. I'm building my career. Ideally, I'd like to be doing speaking engagements. I want to be asked to go and speak at crime conferences. I want to be able to go to a bank and tell them what's really going on. Like, you would not believe the stories I get on a daily basis, basically from people who are just continuously losing money. Some stupid comments, which I can't say are stupid, but a lot of people are really desperate at trying to double down when they've lost their money. They'll lose all their money, and the next minute I say, and they say, I've also got money in this one. And one lady reached out to me claiming she'd put $25,000 into a Ponzi scheme. She got her mother's inheritance, and she put $25,000, and she lost it 8 months ago. And the same people that she lost that money to have reached out to her for a new opportunity, and she's thinking about investing. We found out afterwards, after interviewing her, that she'd actually invested $200,000 and lost a lot. She is now trying to get some work. Tracy was her name, because she was bone broke. These people are what we call pig butchers. They fatten up the pig. They befriend you. These Ponzi schemes are disgusting. They befriend you. I'm always having the same conversation. Hi, I've just seen your videos and you've been exposing the scam. And I go, yeah, how you doing? Thanks for reaching out. Look, I'm a bit concerned about my investment. Oh, good. Can I ask who sponsored you into it? Oh, I'd rather not say, because they're a dear friend of mine. And I go, well, your dear friend has just taken your money and withdrawn it, and he's probably driving around in a new car that you paid for some of it. Oh, I don't think so. I've known this guy for years. And I go, I can tell you now that this guy has probably befriended you for many years, and you'll probably find other friends he's also gone there, because that's what they get told to do. These Ponzi schemes destroy families. They destroy lives. When I first got into this game, I was in the New York Times. Crypto recovery lawyer company said that, do you realize that you can get paid 30% on recovering funds? And I go, no. And they said the IRS, if you help them recover funds, they'll give you 30% of the recovered funds. They even showed me one guy, I think he made $180 million because he helped recover all this money, and he got 30% of it from the IRS. And this lawyer company said to me that we help do all your legal stuff, and we will, if you give us all the victims, we will go do a class action lawsuit, blah, 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 and we'll file all the paperwork, blah, 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 and we'll give you some money. And I went, oh, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. I mean, even with this Christopher, we had a meeting with Microsoft Teams with the government department, with a government department that was looking into this. And they asked me if I've completed the form for the whistleblower program. And I said, no, I haven't. I just don't feel right doing that. And they said, oh, well, if it's got its pros and its cons, but we can protect you. And I go, look, I'm just out there, guys. I'm not, I need money to pay my bills, and I don't even like asking for money. My donations this week is 35 ZAR dollars is my donations this week that I've received from people doing these videos. And the first criticism I often get is, oh, he's doing it for the money. I'm not. That lawyer's company that said to me all about the whistleblower programs and the like, they told me that one Ponzi scheme and scam, 11 people had died by suicide that they had tracked. Because that's what happens, guys. You've got a company, Goliath Ventures, going out there, not for mum and dad investors. They're going out there for retirement pension funds. They're going after the firemen. They're telling people to take their 401, is that what you call it, money out and put it into Goliath Ventures. It costs you, I think, 30% to move your fund from one fund to another fund. Why do you think they go after that money? Because the burn rate is slow. People who retire leave their money in there for a long time. They do not want people withdrawing their money. That's why they want to go after that slow burn money. How are you going to feel when you realize that all this bullshit that Christopher is telling people and these newsletters are never consistent? I mean, an auditor has seized paying people money, and then all of a sudden you're meant to be good with that. That's what they're telling people. You just, people are going to lose it. People are going to be sad. People are going to realize they've lost all their money. So don't hang around to see what happens with your money. This is your money, isn't it? Did you put your money into this? Did you sign a contract that says you can get your money back whenever you want? Work out how much money you've made and take out what you put in and go and put that money back in the bank. And stop giving it to somebody who pisses money away like it's water. 5 houses Christopher's bought. Christopher doesn't need your money because he's got crypto mining. He's got liquidity pool trading, whatever that is. He's got Bitcoin technology going on in his own company. He's now made so much money. Instead of buying 5 houses and $4 million worth of cars and $1 million to the girlfriend and 2 houses in Dubai and a black whatever hoo-ha and spending $100,000 on piss every night, or a night, he could just use his own company. Did you know, I don't know if you've done your research, he's on a video telling people that 2 of his companies were listed. And that's how he made his money. Then he decided, when he listed his money and he got all this money, he decided to invest in his own company, Goliath Ventures Inc. That's how he's made his money. So you search around the internet if it's not been taken off like the other article, and that's how he claims he's made his money. So why does he need to, why does he need to risk your money? There's a guy that used to work at In-N-Out Burger who got fired from In-N-Out Burger, who just a couple of years ago was doing teeth whitening campaigns. Yes, teeth whitenings. Now, stuff you think your teeth. Well, Christopher had a website with another girl that was standing outside a plane. We contacted her, and she said she used to work with Christopher, and it was a lot of fun. And they did all these YouTube videos telling people how they could whiten their teeth. So this is the sort of stuff Christopher was doing too. There's videos. You search around teeth whitening, Christopher Delgado, and you'll find articles of Christopher endorsing teeth whitening programs. This is the guy that you've given $500,000 to, $1 million to, $100,000, or were you one of the unfortunate people that didn't quite get $100,000 and you put $50,000 in, and then you were told that you need to increase your deposit to $100,000 because the new contract says the minimum deposit is $100,000. What the heck? And then they're going to use your money to give you 3 to 4% return per day. And if you're Canadian, you're going to get 8% return per day. Come on, guys, wake up. Threaten Christopher. Tell him you're going to go to the FBI is your best shot for getting your money back right now. Reach out to me, my team of Avengers. We're a small organisation with a loud voice, and we're here working with the investors. We'll keep everything that you tell us private. We want contracts. We want bank accounts. We want to know where the money going. Any good investigation always says follow the money. We've got 130 people on our persons of interest list. We have another database, which I don't talk about, of whistleblowers who are helping us bring down these scammers. Hey, sorry, we had a few technical difficulties at the start. I truly love everybody that supports me, and this is my life. Make it worth living. See you in the next video, guys.